Kel Mitchell. Yes, Kel Mitchell from Good Burger, from Nickelodeon. Well, he's now a pastor. He's walking in his calling in the faith of God. But he went on Club Shay Shay recently and shared about an incident he had where his ex-wife put a curse on him. And he walked Shannon through that whole entire incident of him being freed from this particular demon. So I want to share that with you. I'm going to talk about it and give my thoughts about it. But first, please don't forget to like and subscribe and share this content, because I believe this is the best place for life-changing, for challenging Christian content. You need to be linked up with me. So please help me get this gospel forward by liking and subscribing. So, yep, Club Shay Shay is obviously the new spot now for Christians and for people. It's one of the most popular podcasts there is. And Kel Mitchell was able to get on there and talk about his history and his path. But he shared about a moment he had with God, and an encounter he had where where someone was praying and laying hands on him, and he ended up first being told that he has a curse over his life, and B, he was able to find out that he was able to be freed from that particular demon, and that he was talking like a demon. He was speaking out in a certain way. So I want to share you this clip, and then I'll come back and give my opinion.
And I met a friend of mine there, Janice Woody, right? And she had an evangelist that was like her spiritual mother. She said, I wanted to pray with you, Kel. And I said, okay, cool. Let's do that, and she started to pray with me. I met another evangelist in the same process, a friend of mine named Chico Bennyman, not Chico Bennyman, Chico. He's an actor that was on 101.
Okay.
So met up with him. His mom was evangelist. Remember, he got us all together one time to pray. And she was praying over everybody. It was me, Essence Atkins, a bunch of different other actors that were there. When she started praying over us, right, there was this moment where everybody just started spitting up, throwing up. I'm gonna get deep with you real quick, okay? So it was like an exorcist type of moment, with everybody. And I walk into this situation where I'm like, hey, yo, what is really going on? What's going on? And now this process, I'm walking in, I'm dating the girl that I'm dating at that time. We all walk in there, and she notices, Chico's mom notices that, I'm going through, some things. She said, come here. I said, okay. She said, you need to forgive some people, and you need to say that person's name out loud. And I know what you're going through within court and all the things you're going through. But you need to forgive that person, and you need to say her name out loud. So I said, I've said my ex's name out loud and forgave her, and let go of that anger and forgave her, right? She said also, too, she has done some things as far as, like, putting a hex on you, these different things she has done, spiritual-wise. And I'm like, what? I'm like, yo.
Man,
what?
You put the root on you?
I'm like, yo, what you talk about? Like, word, like, what? And she's like, yeah. I understood it, within what was going on. When she told me that, now this is me being introduced to the spiritual realm, because we are spirits.
Right.
And we're in the spiritual realm. And so when that happened, she said, I want you to say blood of Jesus. I want you to start saying blood of Jesus, and I'm going to pray over you. And she started to do that. Now I'm spitting up. And within that process, getting reconnected to the Lord in a very spiritual way in this moment. Now, all my friends are here. Some of my homies are here. And they're seeing me. And what is happening within this process, demons start, like, literally speaking out their name. I'm saying their names out loud, but they're coming out of my body. So each one is saying who they are. So imagine I'm watching this as this is happening to me. And they're literally going, I'm such and such, and my body would contort and be something totally different as this is talking, and I'm spitting out. And as this is going on and I'm saying all this, I'm like, yo. And they all come out. Finally, I'm tired after like an hour of warring within the spirit. And everyone's she's speaking in tongues and me warring within the spirit. And after that happens, then I get up and my face, bro, like my face was totally clear. Like I'm talking like clear. I went to the bathroom and I'm like, yo. And I just sat down and it was like I just had a craziest workout. And at that moment, no one could tell me that there's not a God. Wow. Because I understood that this is spiritual warfare that we're dealing with. Then I also understood that throughout every process between work and also through with relationships and toxic relationships and everything, is that there's a real enemy that is warring for us. And I started to understand that it's not the person or the person that did it, through in the workplace, or the person that I was dealing with within my relationship, my ex-wife, and all those different things. There's a real enemy that was after me and what I was doing, because they knew what I would be for the Lord.
So yeah, I mean, this was a lot to unpack and unravel. First of all, this is something that's truly real. Like this, he called it an exorcism. I wouldn't use that term, but it's more of a deliverance. And it's, it's a case of semantics. It could be considered an exorcism, but he was being freed from the stronghold of a demon. He was being freed from a place where a demon had control over his life. And according to him, this demon was set forth through his ex-wife. So the one thing that I want you guys to know, be careful who you sleep with. Be careful of the person that you have relations with. Obviously, this was his wife. There was nothing wrong about it or sinful about it, but yet a soul tie was able to still be transferred and allowed him to be oppressed, allowed him to be at a point where he needed freedom. He needed deliverance from what he wanted. So it scares me when people are just sleeping around with random people and, not realizing that it's not just a physical act, but it's also a spiritual act. So you have to be careful with the people that you sleep with, because there are consequences. There are things that are being transmitted spiritually, emotionally, that you have to be leery of and be careful about. So I think it's crucial that, we first pause and talk about that. But I've seen and I've experienced firsthand these type of deliverances where people are in a room, or people are at the altar, or people are at a place where they are where someone lays hands on them, and they are where they are set free. That's the best way to put it, where they are set free from a demonic stronghold, from a demonic attack, a demonic oppression. And I've seen it. I've done it through the grace and power of God. I've been in services where I've seen it happen and see God move in that mighty way. So I think it's crucial for us to identify first that this happens, and this is something that's actually real and sincere. And this is not a fairy tale or a fable. I can't speak for this particular incident because I was not there, so I can't talk about it firsthand. But I've seen and experienced this happening firsthand in my life. I think it's crucial for us to understand the power there is in God, that despite him being oppressed, despite him being set with a curse, I've seen that God has the ability and power to deliver. God has the ability and power to set people free, and you have to come to him. But it's crazy to see how the enemy works. It's crazy to see how the enemy uses someone that you love and you trust in order to introduce to you his realm and his spirit. Kel talked about people coughing up. That's also something that we've seen in some instances where part of a person's deliverance is to cough up phlegm, right? If you ever see a situation where a person is being prayed for, someone lays hands on somebody and begin to cough up phlegm, in all likelihood, what's happening is that they're being set free. And that demonic influence, that demon, which we could call in itself, is one where it's leaving, and through the coughing up the phlegm and spitting out and coughing, that spirit leaves. So it's what he's saying so far sounds legit. Sounds like something that happens, and I would like to know why. Though the ex-wife, if she did, it's all allegations. I know she has spoken out since then. Why would she put a curse on him? Is it something where she hates him and she wants him to suffer, and he left her, so he's like, what, since you leave me, I want you to suffer? Or is it something where it's like, I don't want you to leave me. I've seen a lot of instances where people were, where curses were sent by, ex-girlfriends or ex-boyfriends just because they don't want you to leave. Be very, very careful. This is why I often tell people as best you can. Again, this was, I won't say unique situation. One of the caveats was the fact that this was his ex-wife, and I don't know the history of their relationship, but I always tell folks, if you break up with somebody, make sure that you get rid of all of their stuff, any clothing items, any jewelry, any even like blankets, anything that can provide a connection with your ex. Please get rid of it. Anything, because these things can create a tie. These things can create a connection in which this person has a stronghold in your life. One of the most common uses are jewelry. I mean, let's speak practically. If I'm breaking up with you, why do you want to keep my jewelry? Why would you want to keep a ring or a necklace of someone that I'm broken up with? So I've seen a lot of instances where people are walking around with their ex-girlfriend's ring, or walking around with wearing the clothes of like a hoodie or a sweatshirt that of an ex-boyfriend. I've seen that, and one of the things I immediately tell people who are fighting oppression, who feel that they can't, who want to get rid of this person and any residue of this person, is to make sure that you get rid of anything that could attach you to that person. Because a lot of times this is what they use to have access to you. This is what the spirit uses to be able to still have power or access in your life. So it's imperative that you find a way to let go of anything, or throw away, burn. I don't care what you have to do. Let go of anything that a person like this could have to you. So Kel Mitchell, and it's great to see, him walking in his calling, and God called him to be a pastor, to see him pastoring and leading. That's dope, man. I know it has to be tough leaving Hollywood and the tension in those two different worlds and realms. But for him to say yes to God and walk in his calling is dope. But the first thing he had to do is had to be set free. And a lot of times we believe that just because we say yes to God, we're automatically good, and we're automatically free. Just because you have accepted God doesn't mean that you have delivered from everything. It's possible to be a believer, but you still need deliverance, because there's certain things in your bloodline. There's certain things from your past. There's certain things you're dealing with now. You need freedom from. Coming to God does not set you free from all your issues. You have to aggressively and intentionally pursue your freedom. Now, a lot of us are coming to God because of the fact we're dealing with all this stuff. And we're like, let me come to God because it's safe here. It is safe here. But you still must address the things that you're running from. You still must address the things that are before you. So before, yes, he turned to God and he believed in God, but he had certain things he needed to deal with. He had certain things that he needed to become free from, and he had to need for God to use someone else to do that. So I think it's dope, man. Like to see that type of thing, but it also serves a lesson. Don't hop into ministry without freedom. Don't hop into become a pastor or a worship leader if you're not free yet, because it will cause you to be an ineffective leader, because you can't be at your best place. Yes, God uses the broken. Yes, God uses the imperfect, but you have to also don't use that as an excuse to not deal with your demons. Deal with your demons. God can still use you, but for you to be the most effective person that you can be, you must deal with your demons. So don't hop into ministry. Take time out to deal with your issues and deal with your demons and deal with things that are bothering you, so you can be effective in not only ministry but effective in life. And God can use who He wants, but the goal is for you to be effective as a person, that as you forget about the ministry, that your life is right before God. So Kel, I keep calling him Keenan. Kel is a great example. I'm so happy. Look at the platform. Again, Club Shay Shay is the biggest podcast in the world. I think Shannon was like he surpassed Joe Rogan as the most popular podcast in the world. And he's talking about freedom and oppression. I believe that God's going to set so many folks free from his testimony. That all the eyes, the millions of people that are looking at this video are going to be set free. So this is legit, man. This is happening. This can happen, and this can only always happen to us. It may not be a woman, it may not be a man or an ex, but it could just be something that we have that's undealt with, that we need to be set free. I want to encourage you to be set free. And not allow yourself to be bound and stay bound. Freedom is what God wants to give you. But you have to pursue it. You have to want it and be disciplined for it. So I pray this blesses you. I pray this encourages you. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. I greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, get this word out. Push this word out. God bless you. I love you. Peace.